Welcome to Balls at Gaming podcast. This is the second time we are recording this podcast.
Episode 5.1, 2.
5.2, yeah, I'll put it up as 5.2, so well. We had a bit of an issue. I know a few people probably did watch the first half hour of the last podcast that I put up, but the audio decided to cut out. It was something to do with Yaf, so we can blame Yaf. We're basically just gonna go over everything that we talked about. So this is kind of just a redo. So it might be a wee bit longer. Because new stuff has come up since we recorded the podcast last, and we can sort of elaborate on a few different things. But anyway, Yaf, how are you? What you been doing?
Good. Just working, playing games, playing WoW, the usual. Got a new cap for anyone that's watching that can see. It's Ticket. Rick and Morty, all the way.
There I go, killing again. I hit 120 on WoW, because that is obviously what has happened over the last couple of weeks. So I finally hit to the level cap, so I'm going to have to start doing gear stuff. Yeah, getting gear stuff. So that is on the cards over the next wee while. So yeah, apart from WoW, what have you been playing?
Not a big lot.
Well,
haven't really played much.
Well, we've been playing a couple of different games, but like actually both of us. We played the Crucible there, which was Amazon's first foray into the sort of gaming game development. You know, they made that Grand Tour game, but the Crucible. What was your opinion, Yaf?
Well, I didn't really like it that much, but I mean, it's a weird game. It's like a battle royale, but it's not. It's, PvE. It's PvP, PvE, more focused on PvE, but obviously, getting wrecked in the back when you're trying to take objectives. Objective is to take the heart 3 times. First to 3 wins. I mean, there's some aspects that was good. I think it just needs a lot of balance with the champion spells and things like that there. Yeah. Some seem pretty pointless, like you were talking about before, the smoke on that sniper person, which requires you to be in the action, but can't really be in the action with a freaking sniper rifle, like.
Yeah. I think some of the abilities probably need relocated or something. They need to actually think about the abilities a bit more. I feel that the sniper woman having that smoke screen didn't really make any sense, because to me that would be more of an assault type ability. Someone that was in the midst of the action, whereas that sniper squid woman, the cat just walks across your webcam. So that sniper woman it needs to be away from the action, kind of to be.
I think if they turned that into sort of more like a grenade launcher, smoke grenade launcher, and you're able to launch it, it'd be good, because then you can obviously
yeah, well, that would make sense.
Coordinate with your team, and then obviously once they're going to go in, you chuck that in, and then maybe have some sort of spell where you can see through the smoke or something like that there, the 2 seconds or like 5 seconds, you can still look through the smoke or something like that there to rack people, that's something like that'll be alright.
Yeah, it'd be like, what do you call them in Rainbow Six?
Yeah, something like that there, you put the smoke down and then you can see through it, but obviously you only have a certain amount of time, you can't.
Yeah, you can't
just
always
see through it.
Yeah. Yeah, to sort of have it
work.
Because the thing is when you throw down that smoke, no one can from the outside can see in. So her as a sniper, again, it's being outside, it's pointless. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But I actually thought the game was okay. I think it needs work. But I thought overall it was actually all right. It'll be one of those games that'll need a bit of work over time, rebalance, things like that. But
no, I can't get him down. I don't want to. He's not well, so he's not.
It just needs rebalance and needs reworked a wee bit. So
I think
it definitely has.
I mean, obviously it's
potential. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's something different. It's not the same as what everyone else is doing, but I mean, it's their first sort of try at it. So I mean, give it a wee while, and then I can probably jump back on it again. Like,
we'll see what happens. It's only out and it's free to play for anyone that wants to go and check it out. We we also, well, we did play a bit of Minecraft Dungeons. I've actually played quite a considerable amount of Minecraft Dungeons, and that was the other sort of game that we've been playing. I think it's great. I actually think for a dungeon type game, obviously there's not a lot to it, but I think for the first, obviously as a Microsoft game, they're going to pump money into it, they're going to pump content into it. I think as the first step out into it, very good. I've hit no real major issues, no real glitching, nothing broken. It's very good. It's very grindy, because they only have like 7-8 levels, and basically you play through them once, and then you go back and play through them again at a higher difficulty, and basically just obviously your gear goes up. I'm like level 30 something. I've been playing it a lot. I've actually been enjoying it. It doesn't take a lot of mental capacity to play it. It's kind of one of those games you can just sit and play for hours. So I've been playing that a lot. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it was good. Like I says, what we explained in the last podcast, it was just like a very watered down Diablo. If anyone plays Diablo, I love games like that. Seemed really, really good. Probably maybe not a lot to keep me interested in it, but like Lee says, it's not much of a, you don't really, just a chill out game. You just go wreck things. And get gear.
Yep.
I would be tempted to see what the end game's like, because most of those games are very grindy anyway. You complete the game once and you do it in a higher difficulty. So it'd be good to see what the end game is like. Maybe if they bring in like levels where it's got infinite difficulty, and obviously the higher you go, the better gear you get to the higher levels.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Because I'm on my second playthrough of it, so I've actually started again on the next difficulty.
Yeah. Well, there was things in Diablo called rifts, and basically you get these keys and you go into the rift. And then obviously you're only in like this instance, and obviously you kill as many monsters as it says you do, and then you unlock the end boss, you kill the end boss, and then you get a load of loot, and then they've done greater rifts where it's basically timed. So obviously, say for instance you complete a 2 key in no time, then you get like the 6 key, and it just keeps on going up and up and up and up. They do scoreboards and things like that there, so hopefully they'll do something like that, because it just keeps it interesting.
The one thing that I did like about it, I'm on my second playthrough of it, is that every time you load into a level, it's different. Did you know that?
Oh. No, but I assumed it would be like that, because all games are like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously what they do is load the tile set in, and then obviously whatever algorithm it has, it just
randomizes it.
Random landscapes, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been enjoying it. I think it's very good. I'll be looking forward to seeing the next set of content, because if you actually scroll over on the map, it says coming soon. There's like another section. So they're definitely going to pump it with content. So I've been enjoying that. Yeah, that's really the main sort of games we've been playing, apart from like WoW and things like that. Things that are coming soon. The New World. Yeah, so the MMO from Amazon. So the Crucible kind of led us onto this. It's like a American Civil War type MMO. Now, there's not a lot of information about it, and I signed up to the beta to hopefully get a wee bit of hands-on, see what it's like. But from the trailer, we both thought it looked good. We're both kind of intrigued by it.
Yeah, it looks a lot like if anyone ever played Guild Wars 1.
Yeah.
Frank's going to come back. It looks like Guild Wars 1, like graphic-wise. And I actually love Guild Wars 1 compared to Guild Wars 2, so maybe something like that there could work. Like Lee says, not a big lot of information about it, but I mean, I'll try any MMO. I mean, it's hard to beat WoW.
Yeah.
Like I says, you don't dethrone a game that's been out for over 15 years, like, very easily, but I mean, any sort of new MMO, I'll always welcome it.
Yeah, because it creates competition in the industry, and it's always good, because it gives if it is good, then it'll give Blizzard something that they'll need to work on. That they need to try and maintain their throne that they've held for so long.
Yeah, like you said, it's good for competition. I don't think obviously Blizzard's new expansion coming out, it's going to be very, very good, but because Amazon's behind it, again, they're just going to pump loads of money into it, and hopefully they've got we haven't really looked too much into it, so we don't know if there's any people that's worked in other games, part of Amazon Studios, that's maybe got that insight. We'll maybe have to have a look into that and see if they've got any designers from past MMOs work on it.
But it's out in August, which isn't that too far away, and the beta starts, I believe, in July. So hopefully, maybe I'll get in, and then I'll be able to give you an update on what I think of it if I can get into the beta. Because I don't really want to pay for it and then it not being that good. You know, that's the main risk you sort of take with the games like this, I think.
Yeah, like I says, the MMOs and that sort of sense, because I've got countless ones. You know, going from Star Trek Online to, Aeon, played that, scrap. Guild Wars 2, it was okay. There's countless other MMOs like Black Desert. There's just loads of stuff, and like I say, nothing compares to WoW, World of Warcraft. So I mean, it'll be good to see. It's always good to see another competitor there. Like that was Frank. Sorry.
But yeah, so what do you call it? There isn't a lot of information on it, so it's like we have to kind of just wait and see. The what sort of comes out on it. Information, or if at least one of us can get into the beta, we'll be able to sort of give a wee bit more insight into it.
Well, hopefully with the open beta coming up soon, obviously they'll lift the NDA, and then if one of us do get it, maybe we can post some stuff up.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. So other than that's kind of what's coming out. Epic have been giving out good games over the last number of weeks. So first of all, it was GTA 5, which is now gone. For anyone that missed that, you could redeem GTA 5 on the Epic Store. Then it was Civilization 5. Which
I already had it, but I think you grabbed it, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I grabbed GTA and it, and now at the minute is Borderlands. They because you'd actually sent me a thing a few days ago about the rumor was that it was going to be Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, and it is. So
it's a solid set of games, like.
Yeah, they've been giving out really good. Like, it's not like crap, they're actually like pretty.
They're older games, well, apart from Civ 6. Civ 6 only came out last year, but they're games that would, it's not ones you would just like put on your Steam library, as say, and then like I do, keep them there for like 5 years, and then you realize like, oh, here, I have that game.
Yeah.
Never played it. Like, they're games you install and actually play. It's not just, they're not giving you guff, basically.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what the next one is after Borderlands, because it seems to be they renew it every week or so. So there'll definitely be more to come. So for anyone that plays PC and stuff, it's worth jumping on and seeing what, or at least redeeming them. You don't even have to install them; just redeem them, and in your library anyway.
Yeah, you don't have a PC, just fucking redeem them anyway, because you never know when you're gonna get a PC.
True.
And with the way things are going, like Epic Game, you never know when they might bring these types of things to consoles. You never know, like.
True.
So definitely keep. I would just redeem them, like, and caution on them.
Yeah, no, I would be the same. It's a good set of games.
Just on that note, I'm just looking at the website. The new mystery game unlocks in 2 days, 21 hours.
Oh. Wonder what the rumor is.
Let me have a look and see. Epic.
But
I'll have a look and see.
Yeah, the games so far have been good, so it could be lining up to be a good.
It's not that good. Apparently. No, it's Ark.
Evolution Evolved or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the rumors from May were obviously it actually said Civ Borderlands, so it's going to be Ark, because if all the rumors have been cracked so far, there must have been a list leak somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh
well. But anyway, if you haven't got the Borderlands collection, go down and redeem it. I'm going to redeem it as well. I keep forgetting about it. I need to do it over the next. I'll probably do it after this, so just to have it. So at least I can play it if I really, really want to. But yeah. So that's kind of been on the PC side of things. On the Xbox console, PlayStation side of things, there's been a few different things.
It's heating up.
It is. It's starting to heat up. It's starting to. They're starting to get a lot more information coming out about the next gen. First of all, PlayStation. We'll talk about them first, because they've been in the news, or they've been releasing a wee bit more news over the last few days since we actually recorded the first version of this podcast. Were wondering, there was a rumor that they were going to have the whatchamacallit, what is it? The conference. They were going to have their conference
start of July. It didn't give a date, or well, there was rumored dates.
No, June.
Yeah, it was rumored, but it didn't actually say when.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously now there has been a date. So June 3rd, you said?
Yeah, June 3rd. So it's PlayStation's conference is going to be June 3rd, and we're apparently going to see what they say is a huge announcement and a very strong showcase of first party games. Now,
June 4th.
June 4th, sorry.
June 4th.
June 4th. It's this Thursday.
This Thursday, yeah, June 4th.
Yeah. I thought it was 3rd. My bad. Yeah, so June 4th. They said it's going to have a very strong lineup of first party games. Now that's good. Like I like the sound of that, but the one thing with PlayStation, as I always said, is they'll probably show us something with no release date, and we'll wait and we'll wait.
Yep. You'll get The Last of Us 3, even though I haven't seen Last of Us 2 yet, and they'll be like, yeah, for holiday 2030.
Yeah, so
PlayStation 6.
We could see a new Ratchet and Clank, we could see a new Little Big Planet, we could see a new God of War, we could see a new Spider-Man.
Like it says, I was just saying before, apparently there's going to be like a Daredevil type game in the style of that Spider-Man game.
Yeah, well that would be good. Yeah, I'd enjoy that. And then actually just that Yath has found out, literally just before we hit record, there is a rumor that one of his favorite franchises could be making a return to this announcement.
Yeah, so Silent Hill possibly might be coming back. Obviously, rumors like that there, you don't know Konami when they decide to pull the finger out and stop making mobile games, or Pro Evo, you don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, they haven't released anything notable in years, and well,
see
my side of the world, like.
My main concern about that announcement, it's actually just coming into my head now, is that there was news about a month or so ago about PlayStation looking to buy Konami to do a Silent Hill revamp. So, if there's an announcement at PlayStation's thing, that means development hasn't even started.
Yeah.
Is it going to be one of these things whenever they announced Final Fantasy, when they just said we're remaking Final Fantasy VII, and you had to wait 5-6 years before it actually came out? You know what I mean?
Well, that's probably we've bought Konami, Silent Hill, 2030, PlayStation 6. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things. So it's like I'm all like, it'd be great if PlayStation come out and announce all these first party games, but if they're not out for launch, there's no point in announcing them. Like it means absolutely nothing.
Now that you brought that up, I wonder would the obviously because Kojima's part of obviously Sony and the Sony Entertainment and whatever it is, his studio's part of that. I wonder obviously maybe buying that or getting that off, would they put him in charge of it without Konami actually having shit to say? That would be interesting, because he's always said he's wanted to do a horror type game, and obviously the Silent Hill thing didn't work out. Yeah, but, I mean, him being able to retain all those A-list actors and things like that there to make his game, obviously, he's got some swing, like. So I'd say, it'd be pretty good if that was a possibility.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't even know if I'd want him in charge of it. I think he's lost the plot. When you look at his last 2 games, he hasn't done. He's went out there and made these. He made Metal Gear 5, which I thought was not great at all. Like, the story was really terrible. The gameplay was fine, but the styling of it, no, it wasn't a Metal Gear Solid game to me. And then Death Stranding.
A lot of people thinking, well, maybe it was Konami. Obviously T didn't get to finish the game. He was booted before that happened. The scrubbed half the end and things like that, they made it really short, and you're like, right, fair enough, maybe Metal Gear was crap because Konami got involved. And then, like you said, he released Death Stranding on his own, in his own studio, and I've never played it, but doesn't look like my type of game.
No, you're a postman, basically.
Yeah.
You're just
FedEx.
So I don't even know if I'd want him to be in charge of it. I think it would just be really, like, Silent Hill is wackadoodle anyway, but to get him in charge of it, he would try and make it really clever or something. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what PlayStation announce. We will talk about it whenever we do the podcast next week. What happened during the PlayStation conference. So we'll go over it and we'll break everything down, everything that happened, just like we did with the Xbox one. On talking about Xbox, there was a couple of things this week. So Xbox announced that their backwards compatibility. So they basically every game that is on the Xbox One will be playable on the Xbox Series X, and any game that's been made backwards compatible from the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, will all be played day one of the Xbox Series X, which is an unreal announcement because immediately you have a catalogue of games from day one. You know, that was one thing that this generation missed. You know, whenever you got the new console, you were tied to what was coming out at that time. Whereas now,
I was stuck with FIFA. Yeah. FIFA and Dead Rising 3, which games didn't really interest me. Like,
yeah, you're stuck with just the sort of launch titles. Whereas now you can play whatever you want. You can literally play whatever you want, and you're not going to be tied to just playing with people on the Series X either. You can play with people that are still on the Xbox One, which, again, that was something I struggled with when I had the Xbox One and all my mates hadn't upgraded yet. I was playing by myself. Whereas this generation, everything's tied together. Now, PlayStation have announced, on the flip side of the coin, they have announced that there is no backwards compatibility, basically. That all their games after July 11th or something will be backwards compatible, or have to be backwards compatible. They basically said to their developers, if you're releasing a game between 11th of July or whatever date it is, it has to be compatible with the PlayStation 5.
So that puts a huge question mark on anything before, like.
Yep.
And there's a lot of good games. You know yourself. There's a lot of good games for the PlayStation 4 that you probably won't be able to play upscaled or anything on the PlayStation 5, at least for a long time until they bring that in. Obviously, it's not really a focus of theirs.
What they'll probably do instead, you know, so Xbox do the whole backwards compatibility, and then you know you can play it. Whereas PlayStation,
when they run the emulator, they're probably going to get you into their subscription service.
PlayStation either put it on their subscription service or they'll release a remaster, like where it'll be like because they've done that with Last of Us. So Last of Us, the first one, remember it came out in the PlayStation 3, and then they re-released it for the PlayStation 4 as a remastered game, and then they done it with Uncharted as well. You know, you had all the Uncharted games, and then it was the Drake collection. They remastered it and brought it out for the PlayStation.
No, obviously I never did it. What is it, like a texture? Is it? It's not a total remake. It's just an HD texture pack or 4K texture pack type thing. Just
not even a 4K. It's just an upscale.
Well, I mean, I was looking at buying that Last of Us one back when I first got the PlayStation. I mean, it was only $14.99, so I guess it's not bad. It's not as if they're releasing it 30 quid again. Like,
no. It wouldn't be that bad, but at the same time, I don't know how much it would be. You know, if they decide, we're going to do a remaster of whatever game, it might come out at full price. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because we obviously didn't get the PlayStation when it was first out. You know, when that first Last of Us first came out, I don't think it was $14.99 when it first came out. That remaster was it?
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so.
I have no idea.
I don't think so. I think it was at full price.
Fuck.
So they might do that. I don't know. They might be trying to pull people to their subscription service like Xbox do, but who knows? But Xbox sort of don't do that. They basically say if you own the game, you can just put it in, it'll work, which is nice. And in terms of performance, that was the other thing, is the PlayStation showed us that really dazzling Unreal 5 tech demo a couple of weeks ago, and me and you had questioned it's sort of how valid it was in terms of, because it was a video, it's not really a gameplay, it's a movie.
It's a constructed engine, but constructed like, you know, this is what happens, and there's no like obviously other variables that come into it. You know, it's just, you know, it's just set the way it's supposed to be, you know, just like a cinematic in game basically. So,
but Epic were just showing off the I think they were just showing off the hardware and just what it was capable of and stuff like that. But then Epic came out there and announced that the Xbox is insanely more powerful than the PlayStation, which is an interesting announcement considering they chose to use the PlayStation for the I don't know, the tech demo. It's very strange, but they basically came out and said that the Xbox is superior in power to the PlayStation, which it's all going to come down to these price points. If PlayStation is the same price as an Xbox, I think it'd be silly ban a PlayStation. With dependent on what you want to play. That would be the other thing.
I still don't think. I think Microsoft will come in cheaper. Like,
you think they'll come in cheaper?
Yeah, and cheaper, same price. But I think they win this thing. Because people still, you're not sway the hardcore people. They're still the same price. I say you come in at £5, £10 cheaper, like just to get in there. You know what I mean? And it'll just sway those people. Like,
yeah. Well,
maybe they might have like a bomb load of fucking. Because obviously Microsoft, all their subscription services, they're just going to have a bomb load of friggin' games you can play on it, like you said.
Yeah, from day one.
Free Game Pass, 3 months free Game Pass, and there's people who's got shit tons of games to play and they don't even need to buy anything.
Exactly, and anything that they've bought on their Xbox One is immediately transferred across. It's great. It is that to me, that is one of the best things that I've heard in terms of the announcements. I'm very, very happy about that. I don't have to rebuy nothing. I don't have to subscribe to anything. It's all there. I can play it from day one. Brilliant. A great announcement. But we'll find out. We'll find out on Thursday because I reckon PlayStation are going to announce their price point, and then we'll have an idea. I think so. I do. I think so. Because if they're
being forced into it, aren't they?
Yeah. So Xbox kind of held off. They done that third party announcement that we talked about the other week, and showed off third party games, but no first party, and didn't show off the console. Whereas this for PlayStation is their console announcement. So for them to open pre-orders and things like that, they're going to have to announce a price point.
I would say, obviously, doing that third-party one was pretty smart because you probably find that they've got word that Sony's not close to doing anything yet. Maybe they've got it. Maybe someone that came across said, "Oh yeah, Sony are going to plan something in June for the release," and Microsoft's like, "Well, we'll just hold off."
Yeah, and I think that's what they've done is that they've put themselves first to sort of force Sony to make their announcement in June. The thing is that most of the announcements would have been done in June anyway if E3 had went ahead. So this would have been the time of the year that would have been getting all this stuff. So Sony are basically sticking to that, but Xbox have kind of sat back and went, we'll see what they've got, and then we'll do ours.
Well, that's it. They've been transparent, very transparent, as much as they can be, without giving everything away. So
exactly.
Sony haven't really done anything apart from a controller and a logo. So, yeah.
So
it's good. It'll be good to see whatever they're going to get.
Yeah, I'll sit and watch as I say, we'll watch the PlayStation 1 and we will give our thoughts and feedback on the announcements. Moving away from then the games side of things, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago the whole Mixer influx in traffic, thinking that there might have been because the last time that happened, Ninja moved across and Shroud moved across and stuff. And you had mentioned that Summit had said that he was going to leave Twitch, or that was the rumor anyway.
Rumor was he wasn't too happy, and he was, that was a lot of people got that gist that he was going to leave, and just due to he wasn't happy. Yeah, and
Yaf is not a fan of Summit. Let's put that out there. But what did Summit do, Yaf?
Well, I'm not a fan of Summit. I actually hate him. I'd love to slap him, but he just pisses me off. But the way he plays Sea of Thieves and things to get there, it would have been a good. I mean, as much as I hate him, it would have been good for Mixer to get him over. It would have dragged over his 30k viewers and obviously promoted Sea of Thieves. But what did he do, Lee?
He signed a new deal.
He signed a new deal with Twitch. I'm not happy. Give me more money. Oh, I'm happy. I'm a dick.
And it wasn't just him. There was a couple of others.
Dakotas and Josh OG.
Yeah.
So I read this article. So basically, at the time when Ninja and Shroud left, basically Twitch started contracting people or offering a bit of money. Obviously, there was those rumors that Doc was going to leave because he said he was in talks. So I can't really remember. I can't remember who locked their contracts in. I know Tim Tapman was locked into a contract alongside two other people, and they were on multiple year contracts. Which obviously, Amazon, big Jeff Bezos, got the Bezoses out, and signed a load of people to keep his platform, on top. Because I mean, the Mixer was taking. They weren't just taking, people here and there. They were taking their big people.
They took their big ones, yeah.
Took their 2 big ones. So, I mean, he got the checkbook out, and obviously contracted a few people in. This is obviously what he's doing there, or this is what Twitch is doing, trying to keep people in. Just throwing money at them.
Yeah, Mixer were stealing their streamers, so they had to do something, because the next thing, you get a. It's not just the fact that Ninja and Shroud move over. It's what I've said before. Is it's all the others that move with them, because they see the move and they're like, shit, we should probably move too. It's that impact that that sort of big move type thing has.
Yeah.
So Summit moving as well would that again, as you say, him moving across, even if half his viewers come across the Mixer, that's a big loss on Twitch. So it is. So it is one of those things where Twitch had to be a wee bit smarter and start to try and lock people in. Doc wasn't mentioned in terms of his contract, but I reckon
I would. Yeah, there's no way, because he's like. I mean, he seems easily swayed by money. Leaving G Fuel for Mountain Dew. Dropping Razer for Roccat, who are, in my opinion, I think Razer's shit, but Roccat is like hugely inferior. Like their products are wank. You know what I mean? So it just seems to be whoever's dropping money. Maybe there's personal terms in there too. Maybe he wasn't happy with the way Razer and G Fuel was treating him. But
it's probably a lot to do. It's probably a lot to do with his percentages, you see, because obviously he's promoting their products, and if Roccat or Game Fuel have come in and said, with G Fuel you were getting 10%, we're going to give you 25%,
And the thing about it is, right, when we're really talking about it, right, obviously he hasn't dropped Turtle Beach.
Not yet, no.
And he seems to be happy with Turtle Beach.
Yeah.
He wears the fucking things on his head. You can't see what he's playing with, so he's still probably playing with a Razer mouse or whatever it is. You don't see him with his Roccat mouse, Sure. And when he's drinking G Fuel, I mean, he might not be drinking G Fuel and that. So, I mean, things like that there is pretty much free money for him, because he doesn't really have to be playing with the products he is. Obviously, he's wearing the Turtle Beaches, but it seems to be the only one he hasn't dropped recently, He
does like the Turtle Beach as well, because the Turtle Beach have actually made him. The ones he wears are custom. They're actually they're his own. Ones, and you can't even buy them. They're custom made to him. So Turtle Beach are clearly treating him well.
Yeah. So I would say, Twitch, they're paying him. He seems to be, whatever money he talks, he'll go. And I would say that Microsoft would have given him a pretty penny to get him over. But Twitch, you probably find he's, like you said before, he's in total control of what he earns and whatever he has.
And the thing is, we announced not that long ago as well that he's making a TV show. That's going to be on Amazon Prime. 100%. Has to be.
Maybe
it's not going to be on
normal TV. He couldn't have went.
Maybe.
Because maybe Microsoft don't have the platform for it. What else would he have to put it on Netflix?
Yeah. But then you'd had to make a deal on Netflix, and Netflix had to be interested. They mightn't have been interested. Whereas Amazon can partner all that together. Amazon Prime. So
it's a one-stop shop, like.
Yeah. So, it'll be in it like as you said, Doc's making a lot of changes, and he is the big player when it comes to Twitch. He's the powerhouse. So
I don't think, just talking about the whole switching over to Twitch, I don't think we'll see a lot of people move. I think Twitch will be paying out a bit more to stop ever happening. So I don't think we'll maybe see any big streamers move platform.
Not unless they're really unhappy.
Not for a wee bit. Not unless they're really unhappy, which apparently a couple of them were.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently someone was pissed, but add a couple of zeros on and sign new zero. You know what I mean? And I think that's the reason why Ninja left. It wasn't the money that made Ninja leave. He was just not happy.
Yeah.
And I think Shroud was, they're happier. They're getting literally like a quarter of their viewer base, but they seem to be a lot happier. They can do.
They're probably making
what they want to do,
and they're also probably making just about the same amount of money because of the way that the embers and all work. With Mixer, the money making side of things. There's potential there to make quite a bit of money.
I don't know if you knew about this, but see Shroud. I think Shroud had a secondary Twitch account,
right,
to play WoW on. And I think they stopped them from doing that because obviously, he didn't really get the same amount of viewers on when he was playing WoW, so he decided just having a second. I think they took it off that, but there was a lot of stuff in behind that that's the reason why obviously maybe he fell out with Twitch.
Yeah.
Maybe because obviously when he played WoW, he wasn't getting the same viewer base. So maybe like they're pressuring him into playing fucking games he didn't want to play,
Yeah. So yeah, whereas Mixer, they can play what they want. Yeah, they're not in control. Like that was I'd said as well about Ninja. People were wanting him to go back and play Fortnite and all, and he was basically denying them. He was saying, "Nah, I want to play this," and he was playing Valorant and stuff. He's kind of just not. He's in control of his own content basically. Mixer kind of give him that free reign to do whatever he wants, which, be fair, that would make most people a lot happier. If you're tied to playing the same game over and over every day, you're bound to get sick of it. Like,
I don't know how he was able to. I know that we're not really keen on Ninja, but I don't know how he was keen on, or how he could play Fortnite for those like 2-3 years straight.
I know.
Go to tournaments and all. I turned the game off for 5 minutes. I want to pop my head from the screen. Like, no way I could play for 3 years straight.
Yeah, no, I don't know how they all played that like so much, but they, as you say, they do seem a lot happier, and Ninja never go back to Twitch because Twitch really burnt them bridges with the whole showing. Yeah, they showed porn on his channel after he left, so that bridge is well and truly burnt. Like, he'll never go back near Twitch at any point. If down the line he decided he wanted to move back, he'll not. He'll go to YouTube or Facebook or something.
Couldn't see it, like, yeah.
He'll definitely not go back to Twitch, but yeah. So the new deals for Summit and those other guys, Twitch are starting to get the money out, and they're also trying to make some changes. So the next thing was the Twitch Security Council, which have announced that they're trying to clean up their act. And me and Yaf have had quite a lot of talk about this for a while.
Yeah, so lately he's been working from home quite a lot. I've been working from home a couple of days a week, and it's just one of these things where we chat, and chat at break time, lunchtime, you whack on Twitch, and the first thing you see is, people in bikinis sitting on sofas and they're just dancing, and it doesn't really seem like a streaming platform for games anymore,
Yeah, so you yourself, if you're listening or watching this, just go on to Twitch and just go to Just Chatting, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. The thing is that I don't have a problem with people doing what they want to do on the platform. That is fine. The problem I have is that Twitch can be watched by anyone. It's a channel, it's an entertainment channel, and that at any age I can go on to Just Chatting. Yafa's younger brothers and things, they can go on Twitch and they can click on and they can see stuff. Like, I was on Twitch the other day, when we and Yaf were talking, and we were having this discussion again, and then there was you go into one channel and there's a guy or a girl talking about very 18 plus things, and there was no thing that comes up going, oh, by the way, this content is for mature audiences only, or anything like that. I literally could go in, not signing in to any account, straight off the internet, go Just Chatting, click on the first, whatever channel took my fancy, and nothing stopped me.
Yep, and there's some girl talking about the people how to get into the sex industry.
Yep.
Not a good look, like.
So,
you know what I mean?
Twitch have set this council up to basically monitor and try and clean up the platform. It's a mixed bag of streamers and like university college professors who like specialize in cyberbullying, social media, things like that. So I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if you have to be reported before you go before the Twitch Security Council, or whether they're just going to be randomly going through the platform itself. I have no idea. But to me, Twitch needs to find a bit more of an identity. Because at the minute, it kind of feels like there's a part of Twitch, that's very much gaming, and then there's another part of it that is like OnlyFans. That's the way.
Softcore OnlyFans.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like,
yeah,
and some of the things are so borderline. Like, you say softcore, and then it's like there is some of the things you're like,
yeah,
that's a bit.
And it does, and I think people are just like, like You know, there is all streamers as well. They're getting, flamed and things like that. They're on the line for, and these are like normal streamers that actually do play games, are getting like, they're getting slated online for, charging $4.99 for subs to people. And then you're like, I don't think half these people actually go into just chatting and see that the other people are doing. At least the other girls are playing the games and guys are playing the games, things like that there. But you go into just chatting and people are asking for the same amounts of money, begging for donations, talking about things they shouldn't be talking, and it's ludicrous, like.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and Twitch will ban, they swung the ban hammer a few times on girls that have, crossed the line and guys that have crossed the line. But yet there's these ones that are like riding that line very delicately, and Twitch are just turning a blind eye to it, and it's like you'll only act whenever they go over the line, but to me, you should be trying to pull people away from it. You're trying to reduce the risk of things that you don't want on your platform happening. And the thing is that Twitch has been in the news a lot recently, not for good things. It's been pretty bad stuff. So,
I mean, what are they doing? Yeah, I mean, even the community itself is horrendous.
And this is the thing. This is the major difference between, this is why I like Mixer, is because anytime you go into a channel, and you talk to, you can talk to chat and stuff, don't really have that toxic, really terrible sort of chat. Whereas you go on Twitch and you go into any of those chats, they're
not even that. I mean, when I was streaming on Twitch, it was just like, didn't get a lot of viewers. I can't remember what I was playing. Some guy just comes on and goes, "Look at you, greasy fat fuck," and you're like, "All right," and then just goes off again. You're like, how sad do you have to be to scroll to the bottom of it? Because I only got like 2 or 3 views, and I was playing something pretty popular. To go to the bottom of that page and pick someone out just to say that to them.
Whereas a Mixer people
just to insult them. Then Mixer people come in, say hi. Most of the time you get spammed with "Can I play with you?" and you're like, "Nah." And then this drops the follow you and drops some sparks and go on to the next stream. It's a very friendly community compared to.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a lot friendlier. But the thing, the difference as well is like, I employ any is to go and check it out yourself. Go to Twitch, go to Just Chatting and look. Then go to Mixer and go to Web Show, which is the variation of that, and look at the difference. Look at the difference. The difference is uncanny. On people on Mixer actually doing web shows. That's the thing.
But there's a thing that really annoyed me about that.
What?
So Mixer, most of the channels is obviously sorted by views on both platforms, right? So obviously when you go into Mixer and you go to web chat, it's it'll have the highest views first, which is fine, and then obviously you see who's in it. But when you go to Just Chatting on Twitch, it's not like that. So when it's ranked by recommended, which is all these things you don't want to see, but when you rank it by highest to lowest, all the web shows are usually got a lot of views, but they're near the bottom because Twitch, they're like telling you, they're like saying, yes, we want to be like this, but they're just turning a blind eye and doing completely the opposite. So they're ranking things by recommended, which like I tried to explain before, I don't know if it's just demographics of, male, and obviously you're going to see the flipping, the girls, tying the line and borderline of what you're going to have on OnlyFans, and then I don't know if a female signs into her account and maybe does she get something different. Does everyone get recommended like that? I don't know, but it just seems to be that if it was ranked obviously by views or recommended for Just Chatting as actually having web shows, it wouldn't be too bad. But the first thing you see is things that you don't really want to see if you're going on a gaming streaming platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
That's what just annoys me and Lee.
Yeah, it's as I said, I've nothing wrong with people doing it. It's just there needs to be some censorship in terms of Twitch need to be in control of what people can access. On Mixer, if you set your stream to 18 plus and you click on it, it'll come up saying this is for mature audiences only. Twitch doesn't seem to have that at all.
No, it comes up saying mature audience, but you just hit yes. But I think because you think the majority of people on Xbox, especially younger, kids, people like that there, are going to be playing on Xboxes. I'm pretty sure if you have the parental controls set up on the Xbox, you can't view anything that's teen or above on Mixer. It totally restricts it all.
Yeah.
Could be wrong in that, but that's the impression that I got from it.
Quite possibly.
But
it would make sense.
But I think that's the whole part and parcel thing of Microsoft.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the whole banhammer thing. I mean, Doc got banned for accidentally his videographer going into a toilet with him. And there's, we're not naming names, but certain streamers that have got different bits of body parts out over the past couple of years say they're going to be permabanned and they're back on the platform again. So, I mean, for a mistake from someone walking into a toilet, which never happened again, to the person flashing different body parts that's got away with it 3 or 4 different times, not a good look.
And then, as I said, this is the type of stuff that is putting the platform in the news, and for streaming and esports and stuff like that, it's still very much in its infancy. It isn't a it isn't, but it's global and stuff, but it still has a lot of growing to do, and stuff like that stunts it because it puts a bad impression on the platform. It puts a bad impression on the business, so whenever people hear you're a streamer or something, and then they've seen that a streamer has done this or done that, that's the immediate impression that you're going to be giving those people. And it is this very small group that they always say a small group ruins it for everyone, and that kind of is the way it is with this whole censorship and things like that. So Twitch, with the Security Council, maybe will get things a bit more under control and a bit more, I don't know,
gaming related.
Well, it like, as I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be gaming related, but you need to have sort of rein it in a bit. Yeah. You need to be in control of what people are doing on their stream, because these accidents are happening, and then they're like, oh, you can't do that, and it's like, well, you've kind of let them do basically the same thing for months or years, or there's no like, at any point, Mixer or Twitch don't seem to be sort of in control of the platform. They kind of just seem to be letting people do whatever they want. That's kind of...
Yeah. I mean, you can understand a wardrobe malfunction once, maybe twice, but I mean, not, every other month, you know what I mean? This just doesn't, like you said, they just need to rein it in a bit.
Yeah.
Set the standard for everybody, so,
Yeah, especially as the leading streaming platform. This is the thing, Twitch is the leading streaming platform, so the impressions and them being the news, it affects every platform. It's not just Twitch. It sets a precedent for everything. So it is one of those things. A mum or dad might let their kid watch streamers because they've heard this happened or that happened. It's like, and then there's an audience member or a potential audience that you lose because of this type of sort of behavior. So it is, they definitely do need to fix that. So they do. But yeah, we're quite baffled by that whole situation. So that's why we're able to sort of probably talk about it a good bit. What else has been in the news? Oh yeah, this one's for you, Yaf.
Yeah, so I was reading just something the other day, and obviously, again, Capcom, obviously there's a wee bit of rumors and things like that there, but they're doing some sort of ambassador program revealing, which again, I don't really know much about the ambassador program.
You should be in it.
Apparently, I should probably be in it, yeah. But they give these ranks, and apparently the whole ambassador program revealing is for whoever's got gold rank is going to platinum or something like that there. But I find it very odd that they're making a big fuss, with like June 10th. They're making a big fuss to just say, oh yeah, exciting announcement, all our gold members is going to platinum. And, so obviously a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a Resident Evil 4 announcement, the official announcement with maybe gameplay or trailer, or possibly, which is highly unlikely, a Resident Evil 8 launch, although might not be, due to obviously them taking Revelations 3 and scrapping it to make it Resident Evil 8. So, you never know, they might have a lot done. Yeah. You never know, but Probably more Resident Evil 4 since it has the launch. Wasn't it 2021? Wasn't it, or 2022?
I think it was 21.
21. So obviously it needs to be announced soon. So it'll probably be that there more than anything. But
yeah, I would say so. Could be both. Who knows?
It could be both. Well, you never know. We might see something on the PlayStation launch like we did with Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, it'll be an interesting. As I said, it is this time of year now. This is the big month when it comes to announcements, because this is usually when we have E3. So,
just thinking out of the box. Maybe a wee Dino Crisis for the PlayStation launch we can go and miss. Like,
I wouldn't go miss. Well, Dino Crisis, there was a rumor that Dino Crisis was being remade and remastered or whatever, or a reboot or something, not that long ago. So you never know. You don't know what's going to come out. I'm intrigued by all these announcements. This month we'll have a lot of announcements. And
I think because we don't have that E3 platform now, you might get a load of surprises. Because obviously there's you think these companies go out a couple of weeks probably before, things get leaked because of obviously there's so many people about from them planning, doing dress rehearsals and things like that there. But because everything's going to be kept in house, we're going to get a couple of good surprises, I think.
Yeah, and that is I suppose the one good positive is that you are going to get a lot of surprises. There usually around E3 there is leaks and things, and many announcements and things like that, whereas all the companies are now in control of when the content gets announced, unless you're Naughty Dog. But the
burn.
Yeah, it is a bit of a burn. But apparently that didn't hurt them. They came out and said that they weren't annoyed by the leak, which I think's a load of balls, because how could that not hurt you? Like Ubisoft and who else? Nintendo and PlayStation, Xbox. Who else has? I think Bethesda. You don't kind of know what those guys have been up to, because E3 is usually the time that we'll find out. This is what's coming our way over the next couple of years, and some of them.
Usually Bethesda's painting buildings and all of the games that are going to fail that they're bringing out, but
Fallout's coming out, and then our Skyrim's coming out again on something else, or
you can play it on your Stream Deck.
Yeah, I don't understand why they have a conference, to be honest. But the announcements, I think the one good thing about this and not having E3 is that the announcements are going to be condensed to the stuff that matters. They're not going to put on these, online conferences for nonsense. It's going to be.
You think, sometimes I get a wee bit annoyed sometimes on Microsoft, because they have all these indie studios, not that. Indie studios that still make games that deserve all the time in the world to showcase their games, but you kind of feel that they do all these things to kind of fill a space. We have a 3 hour thing here. We need to get all these fucking indie games and get them all in. Whereas, like you said, they're going to be more what matters, and the most important games are not going to want to be quantity. It's going to be quality this time. People want to see good shit.
And the thing is that it's going to be straight to the point. The conferences are going to be bam, 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 bam. Just like the way Xbox done that third party one is exactly the way they're all going to go. Is they just went, here you go, 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 and then there was talking at the end, and they sort of filled in and broke it all down. But that is the way it is going to go. It's not going to be the same E3 thing where they're talking about progress and all this stuff. And as Yaf says, the indie studios, and it feels like they're filling some time in and they're doing this and they're doing that. It's going to be, here's the games, here's what they look like, here's the console, here's what it does. This is what it does. This is what it doesn't do. Blah blah blah. It's going to be more to the point. They're not going to waste their time, which, to be honest, is probably a good thing, because it means we'll get more information in a shorter period of time. It's not going to be over 3 hours. It's going to be an hour and a half long, and you're just going to get the information you need and see the things that you want to see.
Because obviously
that's what I
want. Pay a lot of money. Yeah, I think everyone is. They pay a lot of money to go to E3.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to try to just get their money's worth out of it.
Yeah, and they make it a big event, and they make it it's a whole showcase thing. Whereas it's a lot different now, because they're dependent on the internet not breaking. You know what I mean? It's like everything will be recorded, fenced, edited. It'll it's not live. It'll be here you go, and that's that. Well, they say it's live, but we'll see.
I will be probably find that the intro and the outro is live. Everything else pre-recorded.
I would say a majority is pre-recorded because especially something in the way that they have to do things at the minute, it's too much of a risk. You have that many people, in a Zoom chat or whatever they're using, or all those different conference. I suppose Microsoft will be using Skype, but the you have chances there of internet dropping out or something, so they're not going to have that risk. It's going to be well edited. It's going to be to the point. There's not going to be as much blabbing. Like, as I said, if you watch Microsoft's third party one, which wasn't amazing, it will give you the idea of what probably to expect from the developers going forward. It's a very small amount of talking, and these are the games, and that's it. And that's kind of what Xbox have been promising. Phil Spencer's tweeting a lot about the high quality of games and the amount of first party games that they're going to be announcing. So I am excited, and I'm excited to see PlayStation's. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to see if they've got any surprises up their sleeve, because at the minute the PlayStation is an enigma.
I say they need to pull something out of the bag, like
big time. And this is the thing is. To me, Xbox to this point have been winning. They're getting people on side. Obviously there's going to be fanboys on each side that aren't going to be swayed, as Yav says. But then to your normal customer that would buy either, I think Xbox very much have been keeping people informed, been showing stuff, they've been in telling people different things, releasing things over steadily over periods of time, but not giving everything away. They're kind of just giving enough information that keeps you interested. PlayStation have literally announced nothing since they showed that controller, which was 2 months ago.
Yeah, like I says, I'm not really, Lee will tell you I'm a PC gamer, so I do love Microsoft as a company. I think they're an amazing company, but I'm not really biased in terms of consoles, and obviously when you look at it in terms of a media standpoint and just what's been shown over the past month, it's just Microsoft all the way.
Yeah.
There's been rumors for Sony, but in terms of official announcements maybe because I don't follow anyone from PlayStation, but their CEOs and all, they've been even writing stuff. Phil Spencer's he's quite out there, and he's not shy. He doesn't shy away from social media, and they've all been, like it says at the start of the podcast, they've been very transparent without giving everything away.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, the only thing you've heard from Sony is. You've heard Last of Us for the past fucking 5 years or something out there, and then you've had a logo and a controller, and a fast hard drive. That's it.
Yeah, and the thing is, as well, is they've been trying to fill in these gaps with the state of play as they do, but it's showing games that are coming out for the PlayStation 4. It's nothing to do with next gen. Xbox have been releasing games and doing their things for these games, but also been teasing of what's coming.
Yeah, but they've also been guaranteeing that the games that they're bringing out for next gen.
Exactly.
They will work on next gen, whereas Sony's, that anything that's released before July isn't going to work.
Exactly.
Well, not at the start anyway.
Yeah, at the start anyway. But this is the thing. It's why? What are they doing? As I said, the last official PlayStation 5 thing that we have had and we've been fed was the controller, and the controller I think was shown in March, which was 3 months ago. It's and
it wasn't even that.
Is it
either,
Yeah, and then they came out a few days ago and saying that COVID isn't going to affect the PlayStation 5's production. But then a couple of months ago, it apparently was. So I there's a lot of question marks to me about what is happening with PlayStation and what their plans are, and hopefully that'll be answered on Thursday whenever they do this showcase, because this showcase I feel is a freaking important showcase for PlayStation and Sony.
If they rock in here and show a lot of third party stuff and no first party stuff,
it's good night. I think I think what they will show is first party stuff. But my thing, and I know Sony fanboys will go, "Oh my god, a new Spider-Man!" But see if they don't tell me when that Spider-Man is coming out, I am not buying a PlayStation. That why would I? Because if you can't tell me that it's coming out at launch or it's coming out next year at some point, then I'm not interested. because
you
you're
don't
showing.
even mind if they turn around and say 2022, and you're like, well, we're not getting it for a while, but at least
I know. But if they do this thing where they announce the games like they've done with Final Fantasy and all these things coming soon. When soon? Has this thing actually been in development for a year, for a month? You have no idea. Like
they've probably used this whole like thing from March to now, just like knock up some in-game like cinematics.
But is that what they've been doing? You know what I mean? It's like you have these questions because I'll give you a perfect example of when PlayStation have fucked, that sort of information in. 4 or 5 years ago, they announced a game called Agent, and it was a Rockstar exclusive. And it was coming soon. That game's been binned. They built all this hype.
Coming?
No, it's been binned. It's gone. So why show us something that clearly wasn't far enough in development to be an actual title? Like, you can Google it. Anyone again, I implore you, go Google Agent by Rockstar. Rockstar abandoned the whatchamacallit, like, Yav's Googling now, I can see he is. But yeah, Agent, I'm pretty sure.
I've never heard of it. Well, I've heard you talk about it once or twice before, but...
Yeah, but it was a spy shooter, third-person type game, and they hyped it all up, and they showed it like 5 years ago. It's been binned. It's gone. Dead. There was a website and all made for it, and PlayStation were like, it's coming soon, it's a PlayStation exclusive.
It was for the PlayStation 3.
This is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So it's like, for them to go, if they come to this showcase and go, here's this game, it's coming soon, it may never fucking come out. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that, PlayStation, people forget about stuff like that. I remember that one. I remember Agent, because I was like, oh my god, Rockstar are making another IP, and Rockstar are really good at making IP, so it's like, this could be a good game.
And it's the type of shit it would sway even Lee to go and buy a PlayStation.
100%.
Like, bad for that.
Yeah, I would buy it for a Rockstar game. 100%. I think you'd be silly not to buy it for a Rockstar game. But then they announced it, and it never came. So it's one of those things. It's like, they need to be definitive. They need to be showing us games that are coming for launch.
See if they go out here and show a load of cinematics, like you said, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, fucking Spider-Man, what do you call that game, Horizon Zero Dawn, Another Day Is Gone. If they go and do all this shit, right, and then just show cinematics and then just go, oh, but here's Last of Us 2, you're gonna be like, what?
I know. See if they make a big deal out of The Last of Us 2 being on the PlayStation 5.
Again,
I'll turn it off. I'll be like, they've got fucking nothing. They've literally got nothing. Because they do that, they make a deal out of a game that they've already had coming out again or something. The PlayStation do this so much, and
it's only been hyped for the past 3 years.
What they need to be showing is what is coming out for launch, because that is what Xbox are doing. Xbox are showing you games that are available at launch. Never mind the games that are in their back catalogue. Xbox are talking about games that are going to be available within the first couple of months of launch. Halo apparently is already there. It will be available at launch, which is
not necessarily
bad.
Yeah, it might not necessarily be like, they might have come out a month before on the Xbox One, but obviously are Xbox Series X compatible, so obviously you're gonna have a mountain ton of games to play, and then obviously probably within the next month or two of it launching, you're gonna have all those great games. So you're gonna have I'd say Halo will be a day one launch of that, it has to be, and then you're gonna have all these banging first party games for the first couple of months.
You're gonna have Forza, and you're gonna have all different. They're gonna bring out a lot of stuff. Gears Tactics is coming to the console. So that'll be one. I can guarantee you in July, that'll be one. Forza, Halo, they might announce Gears 6. What others? Like, they've been working on new IPs, so all these new IPs that they've been talking about that we haven't seen yet. The one from that one that we were talking about a couple of months ago, what would you call it?
Took all like a load of heads from different studios.
They might have their game to announce, so our Xbox, to me, also still have a lot of secrets up their sleeve and a lot of cards to play. So PlayStation really do need to blow it out of the park. They need to really fucking show. They need to be like God of War's coming out day one PlayStation 5. I'd be like, holy shit, I want a PlayStation 5. You know, to me, Horizon Zero Dawn, I never played it, and people did like it, but they that wouldn't blow me away. You know, Silent Hill, you know, if they went new Silent Hill game exclusive to PlayStation, you said before this started, you'd go and buy a PlayStation.
PlayStation, I
you know what I mean?
Now, like.
So this is what I mean, is they need to do something to that effect. They need to have something that's like, holy shit. Because the thing is, we haven't seen Halo Infinite yet. And Xbox have already told us it's coming out at launch. They're going to show us something, and everyone's going to go, I want an Xbox. You know what I mean? Whereas PlayStation, to me, at the minute, they mightn't have that.
But it'd be disappointing if they didn't do that, because obviously as well, you're a Microsoft fanboy, right? And you love Xbox, but you know, obviously competition's healthy. You know, if they
of course, yeah,
mess this up, it's just going to be disappointing. Because then, you know, obviously I doubt that Microsoft would, but it means, you know, why would they need to show as much stuff then in July if, you know, Sony just fucked everything up? Like,
Xbox will just go and really put the final nail in the coffin. I think they would just literally nail that coffin shut. They wouldn't change anything. They would keep it immense. You know, they'll just go and literally hammer that nail in and just be like, Sony user fucked, basically. And Frank's tail is back.
Frank's tail is back.
Yeah, so that's that. The last thing we need to do is just answer the last couple of questions from Legend, which we have already answered, so we can just re-answer. It's just no one could hear us.
Well, they could hear me, just not you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, true. So the first question was, what genre of games do you think has affected the course of the game industry the most?
So I'm gonna go with my original answer, because obviously Lee made a really good point, and I was like, my answer sounded a wee bit stupid, but we'll not do any editing. I'll go with the original one. So I'm gonna say of the recent sort of past couple of years, you know, battle royales has shaped the industry. Probably not for the best, because I personally don't like battle royales, but you know, I think that sort of genre of games, you know, was kind of sort of determined, you know, the style of games that's came in, you know, has come out. You know, you obviously, you know, that, you know, the Crucible game. You know, you think of like any COD now is going to have a battle royale. You know, Battlefield even put a battle royale in. You know, Fortnite, you know, one of the biggest games that, you know, it's made the most money in the past, you know, century. You know, I don't know. You know, just so much stuff battle royale wise. You know, PUBG. Just so many battle royales, you know, so it's kind of, you know, it was rammed down people's throats, I think.
Yeah.
You know, for the past, you know, 4 or 5 years there.
Yep. And I think it will still. I think Battle Royale will be about a wee bit longer. But yeah, no, I do agree with you in terms of the shaping of the industry now. But as Yav said, I had the thought that in terms of overall, in terms of what genre of game has affected the industry the most since the beginning of games, I said platformer. So the likes of Mario, you know, I believe the likes of Mario is really what shaped the industry going forward, because Mario was the first kind of game that had a proper story to it, and you know, the style of the game that it was, you know, it was an adventure game. There was enemies, there was, you know, you had to jump, you had to do all these different things. There was like mini puzzles and, you know, all that sort of thing. Obviously, and Mario became phenomenon. Yeah, he's an icon.
If you think of gaming, it's like it's gaming
royalty.
It's gaming royalty, you know what I mean?
He's the godfather of games, you know, and he also birthed so many other characters like Donkey Kong and all as well. You know, that came from the Mario series and things like that. And in terms of the industry itself, I think really platformers, not just Mario, but platformers in general, you know, any type of platformer game, you know, Yaf pointed the last time we talked about this was Sonic, you know, there was another, again, it's another platformer, you know, those characters are infamous, like, they are undeniably the biggest freaking game icons ever, you know, you have all the new ones, no matter what type of game it was, platformers, you know, they took from that. You know, they took from platformers and then they made them 3D. And
yeah, it's like I said, no matter who comes and goes in the game industry, what games come, what franchises come, no one is ever going to forget the likes of Mario and Sonic. No, never. You know, there might not be any. I know there's not really any Sonic games that came out in the past few years. I know Nintendo kind of released the odd here Mario Party things they got there. But you know, they're two icons that'll never ever, you know, no one's ever forget about those, and they're always going to start that, you know, really, you know, prestige title, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said in the last podcast, you know, with Lee bringing that up, if it wasn't for platformers, we'd all be playing fucked up versions of like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, or Pong. You know, imagine the graphics on a Pong game nowadays. Like, you know.
Yeah, but, well, there is a Pong game. Well, not nowadays, but the 360. Do you remember the Rockstar ping pong game?
No.
It was on Xbox. Do you not remember that?
No, I don't remember.
Xbox
no.
360. It was class.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
yeah, but if it wasn't for platformers, we'd just be playing these mad games with repetitive music, fucking beating the heads off the wall.
But yeah, no, platformers to me would be the genre that really did birth the gaming industry. And then the last one he had was, what do you think is the most impactful form of storytelling? Cinema, video games, or literature? Now, we talked about this as well. It's like, it's a hard, that I thought it was a hard question.
So I think me and Lee, again, Lee came up with a very valid point. I'm gonna go gaming, because obviously I'm not gonna say what I did. You know, I'm not going to edit what I'd said in the last post or in the last podcast. So, you know, I say gaming, and obviously to back it up is, you know, you've got, obviously most games have got a storyline, and then obviously when you're in that game, you're like, you know, playing part of the story. You're part of the story. You know, some games obviously have you making decisions and things they got there that affect the end storyline and things they got there. So obviously you're playing the game, living the story, and I think that's, you know, in terms of now modern day sort of storytelling, is the best way, because you could obviously watch a movie. But, you know, you just watch it, and yeah, you could have emotions, things like that there, but, you know, you just can't interact with it the same way you can interact with a game.
Yeah.
No, obviously, Lee brought up a really good point, which is very good about literature.
Yeah, so, like, I would discount cinema. You know, cinema has obviously been around a long time, and it's been around a lot longer than gaming, really. But in terms of storytelling, I don't think we can really get away from literature and books, and, you know, and comic books and things like that. I think that in literature and books itself, the point that I'd made was that you own that story and you own those characters in a way, because your imagination is in control of that. You know, with a game, and you take control of a character that's predetermined. It has a predetermined story that you follow right through to the end, and you take that character. But how you perceive characters in literature is different from, you know, I read a book and Yaf reads a book. The characters in those books sound, look, act different from what I read and what Yaf reads. Your own personality, your own imagination really do dictate the way in which that you interpret the words that someone has written. And the thing is that storytelling has been around since the dawn of time, in terms of literature. You know, like, people go and, you know, like, everyone can go and tell us someone else's story that they've heard and things like that, but the first thing that we did as human beings was write it down. You know, cavemen drew it on the walls and stuff. It was, you know, that was their form of comic books and things like that. I don't think we'll ever get away as those are the best forms of storytelling, because, you know, Yav made the point, if Harry Potter, for example, we used Harry Potter as an example, anyone you ask, you go to them and go, what did you like better, the movies, the games, or the books? The answer is undeniably the same for across the board. I read the books, played the games, watched the movies, and the books were the best, because the books were my own imagination. I imagined the characters the way I wanted to. Not saying the movies were bad, movies were very good. Games were good too, but the books, nothing can beat the books.
Yeah, it's just the same, because obviously I don't like Game of Thrones, but anyone's watched Game of Thrones always like, you know, the books are better. Same as Lord of the Rings. A lot of stuff in Lord of the Rings, everyone says books were phenomenal. You know, not that the movies weren't phenomenal, but again, it's just books. Same with The Walking Dead. So obviously you watch the TV show, obviously based on the graphic novels of The Walking Dead, and like obviously I watched the TV show first, and then I bought the volume 1 of the graphic novel, and then, being obviously not as in depth writing as what a book would be, but obviously, you know, looking at that, and obviously, you're taking into account, it kind of sways your vision a wee bit, because obviously you know what the show is like, so obviously you've got a good picture in your head what everyone looks like.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at it on the graphic novel, the storytelling's just far better.
Yeah.
Literature is just far better. Night and day difference.
I feel that they can get the thing is about literature is they can add more detail. In a game, in a movie, you have a split second to keep people's attention. Whereas people get the intention of a book to sit and read it and to take the information in. You want to be entertained when you are watching a movie and playing a game. You don't want to be dragging. Like, I don't know about you, when I'm playing a game that you go and open a book in the game, I'm usually just like or skip. Don't really care.
Yeah. Do you really want to play a game to read a book to...
Yeah. You know what I mean? So to me, the storytelling in literature is much better because you can put more detail into the book because the person has picked up that book to read that, to gain that information. They haven't picked up a game to be entertained. In entertainment terms, yes, obviously gaming and cinema are going to entertain you more, but his question was storytelling. And to me, it'll always be literature. I don't think anything will ever beat that. And that is my opinion, obviously.
No, like says you can't really, because obviously when you're playing a game or when you're playing or watching a movie, obviously the person who's made those has put everything that you think about into your head. Like you said, what everyone looks like, whatever it acts like, whatever everyone sounds like, whatever everyone does. Their mannerisms. Everything is implanted in your head because you see it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a book, a lot of that stuff isn't visible.
Yeah.
Because you have to use your imagination. So it's just like you said, I don't really read that much books, but obviously, you can I've listened to a few audiobooks and things like that there, and granted, obviously they kind of know what obviously sounds like and things, but when they're saying things, you find yourself more envisioning it.
And you kind of know what, like, in your head, you're like, I remember going to see Harry Potter and being like, that's not what I thought X would sound like. Or my example was last time was Voldemort. Whenever he appears, like, reincarnated, in the book it said he looked like a snake. In the film, he looked like a flat face, he had no nose and stuff. And it was like, yeah, it obviously was snake-like, but it's not how I imagined them.
Voldemort did a load of coke and
yeah,
it's
like, it's not how I imagined them. I imagined them completely different. But now, obviously, if I go and read the book, all I'm going to think about is the movie one. That's the problem. Snape. That is the one problem. And Snape, Alan Rickman, great. He done great. Like, I can't deny he done great. Good. But yeah. So to me, books just would pip everything else in terms of storytelling. Entertainment obviously is a very different thing. But yeah, no, that is all of his questions. That's basically us through all the topics that we had already talked about again. And we done it in pretty much the same amount of time, which is quite surprising. Okay. We elaborated obviously on things and stuff, and there was new information that had come to us over the last few days. But yeah, hopefully we won't have this problem again, guys. I don't really have anything else. Do you, Yaf?
I was just going to say, just on the whole note of our questions run out from Legend, if Legend's got any more, he's more than welcome to drop them in.
Yeah.
Or if anyone listening, if he's got any more questions, like I says, hit us up on YouTube if you're watching. Like I says, I don't know if you can put our links into any of the social media stuff or the podcast platforms.
The podcast platform, Anchor FM that we use, it's connected to my Twitter automatically because obviously when I signed up to it, it connects to my Twitter. But in the description, I did put both of our links for our Twitters for the original version of 5. But obviously had to take that down. So I will again. I'll put both our Twitter accounts in the description. So guys, share the podcast, like, subscribe, whatever platform you're using. Give it to people that you think might like it. Sort of spread it about there, guys, because we want to sort of grow this a wee bit more. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and thank you for anyone that has reached out and give us some nice feedback or any other stuff. But yeah, send us questions, we'll answer them. send us, just send us anything. You can even send us clips from games or just any sort of thing. And if you want us to give our opinion or anything on it, let us know, and we'll do our best if we've played it, or we can give an opinion on it anyway. But yeah, that is all from me anyway.
That's all from me. Just trying to make sure my cat doesn't wreck a place.
But yeah, guys, we're going to record next week's one next week, so we'll be able to give a rundown on PlayStation's conference and anything else that's come up in the news since then. But yeah, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Yep, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.